Good afternoon, everyone. I am Matt Wiederhold with Heritage Ohio. Thank you for joining us today for our monthly webinar series, presented in part by the Ohio Arts Council and the Ohio Department of Development. Our monthly webinars feature different aspects of preservation, revitalization, and community and economic development. I'd like to welcome Alan Gunner, President and CEO of Solnomo, and Amy Pullis, President and CEO of Prevent Blindness, Ohio affiliate, to tell you more about the 2024 total solar eclipse and how you may potentially earn some financial support for your program or municipality. So welcome Alan and Amy, and the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Oh, sorry, Alan.
I was just going to say hello. Thank you for having us. Appreciate the time today, and I'm glad to be here. So go ahead, Amy, if you want to get started.
Yep, thanks for joining us, everyone, today to learn more about how you can ensure the residents of your town can view next year's total solar eclipse in a fun and safe way. So Prevent Blindness America was established in 1908 as an advocacy organization. At the time, there was a high rate of infant blindness due to contracting a bacterial infection at birth. So a group of ophthalmologists joined together to advocate for a law that would require eye drops to be placed in infants' eyes at birth to stop potential bacteria from growing. The law was passed, and all babies still born today are given those same eye drops. So for the past 115 years, Prevent Blindness has evolved into a patient advocacy organization which works to preserve vision and eye health across all ages. The Ohio affiliate of Prevent Blindness was established in 1957 and is headquartered in Columbus, Ohio. There are 4 chapter locations across the state, including Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, and Toledo. And the Columbus office serves the rest of the state not covered by a chapter. The organization reaches nearly 700,000 Ohioans annually through its sight-saving programs, with our largest program being our Children's Vision Screener Training Program, where we train and equip school nurses across Ohio to conduct vision screenings on their students. We also have educational campaigns that raise awareness of the importance of good vision and eye health. The Solar Eclipse campaign is just one example. The goals of our Solar Eclipse campaign includes raising funds to support the organization, increasing the public's understanding about the importance of protecting your eyes during the eclipse, and providing glasses to under-resourced communities, and lastly, increasing brand awareness for Prevent Blindness. You may remember that a partial solar eclipse came through Ohio in 2017. 215 million adults across America viewed that eclipse. That $215 million figure does not include all the children that viewed it as well. For comparison purposes, only about 172 million watched the Super Bowl in the same year. 72% of people watching the eclipse did so using solar glasses, pinhole viewers, or other devices. The rest watched the eclipse online. People did have trouble accessing scientifically sound eclipse eyewear, and Prevent Blindness had not anticipated the interest level and therefore did not have safe glasses available for to hand out to people for viewing. There were an estimated 80 million eclipse glasses sold in the United States. However, many retailers were unprepared to meet the demand that they actually had for that eclipse. The Prevent Blindness webpage with information regarding the solar eclipse and eye safety was one of the most viewed web pages on the Prevent Blindness America site for all of 2017. So in other words, public interest level was very high in 2017, and that was only a partial solar eclipse. The 2024 solar eclipse will be a total eclipse coming through a large portion of Ohio. There will not be another total solar eclipse passing through Ohio until 2099. There will, however, be a partial solar eclipse that comes through Ohio in 2045, but the total not until 2099. So this truly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and we want to help you to be able to be prepared. So I'll hand it over to Alan to give you some more in-depth information about the campaign.
Thank you, Amy. So as Amy shared, in 2017, Prevent Blindness, was not equipped or prepared for making glasses available to the communities, and so lesson learned. And here we approach a huge event here in 23-24, and that's where the opportunity lies. So let me tell you a little bit about the eclipse that's coming to the U.S. in April 8th, 2024. This eclipse is going to last 4 minutes, which is double the time the 2017 eclipse went for. It's going to be observable in all of the United States, and anyone that needs to see the eclipse or wants to see the eclipse will need to do so safely and wear glasses. The totality of the eclipse will be observable in a 150-mile path that's going to go through the states listed there. And as you can see, Ohio is one of them. And that's double the width of the 2017 eclipse. They're expecting about 300 million people to view this eclipse. And right now, 32 million folks live in the path of totality. And just like in 2017, people traveled to be part of it. And there's an expectation that 40 to 50 million people could witness the eclipse because they're going to come, others are going to come to the area of the total eclipse, including again Ohio. The next coast-to-coast total eclipse for U.S. is not till 2045. So really the time is now. So let's talk about these two eclipses that are coming, and it's a 1-2 punch actually. So in October of this year, there's going to be an annular eclipse, which is the moon is getting in front of the sun, but it's not as large to block the entire sun. So it's going to make a ring of fire. And as you can see on the map, that is going to go from the northwest down through Texas, and that's October 14th, 2023. 6 months later, April 8, 2024, is a total solar eclipse. That's the blue line, as you can see. And you can see the states that are affected by that, including Ohio. I'll come back to this interactive map here in a few minutes, but that's why this is such a big deal. And being ready for the big one is critical for Ohio, but even being ready for the first one is not a bad idea. So here's the path. As you can see, it's looking at the map a little differently, but you'll see the path going through Mexico, up through into New Hampshire and Maine, and of course Ohio right in the middle. When I mentioned earlier that the entire United States will need to be able to view the eclipse, this is a kind of a heat map, if you will, the red being the total, and then as it goes out further, the less of the sun will be covered. But anyone, even if you're in Seattle or down in Miami, in order to see the eclipse safely, you need to have eclipse glasses. That's why it's such a huge event for the United States. So here are the major cities in the path of totality. I highlighted the ones in Ohio, and obviously you all are aware of those cities, but other major cities across the country are in this path of totality. So here's a nice view of how the path is going to go through the state of Ohio. And you'll see the cities that are affected. Between the red lines is the total eclipse, and just outside of it, you'll be obviously in the upper 90s. But being in the total eclipse, the experience just being just outside of its total difference for folks. In Ohio, the eclipse will begin at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It'll end around 4:30. Totality will start somewhere around 3:15, 3:18, and it'll go for 4 minutes. The last solar eclipse that passed through the state, that full solar eclipse that passed through Ohio was 1806. And as Amy mentioned, the next one to go through Ohio is not till 2099. So that's quite a ways away, and I don't think we'll be here to see it. But anyway, so here's interesting. My hometown is Medina, so I use Medina as an example. And you know, in Medina, the square of Medina, looking at kind of when the eclipse is going to begin, when it goes full, and then when it ends. And you'll see that, you know, thinking about the eclipse, it's a great opportunity for community events. Like the last eclipse in 17, people were renting out stadiums and parks and campgrounds and you name it. So if you think about your areas that you are in, you know, the stadiums in town, the parks, having a food trucks or entertainment before, during, and after the events. There's a lot of things you can do around it to really get people excited. And the event is on a Monday, and we've already been told that some schools have already closed a year in advance for that day. There's going to be an experience for the children in the schools. The glasses can be branded with the city's logos, or a sponsor can find a sponsor to fund the glasses and they can put their logo on it. It's going to be an epic event, an opportunity to celebrate while protecting the vision of your citizens and raising money for Prevent Blindness and your city or village. So if I look at if I click on this link here, hopefully my page will switch with you guys. This is just an animation. Did it change to the web page?
Yes.
Okay, so here is kind of what it'll be like that day in Medina. And you'll see how the moon's going to come in front of the sun and show you what the experience will be like. All right, so that's kind of just an animation of what one would expect on that day. Let me go back to this map over here. And in this presentation is a interactive map where you can actually pick any city you want. So if I said Akron, Ohio, or let's say Dayton, Ohio, and I say, okay, what's going on in Dayton? I could see in Dayton it's going to be a total eclipse. It's going to start at 1:53. It's going to, totality. So it's a little bit different in time. And then of course you do the same animation. The other interesting fact on here, which is always nerve-wracking if you think about it, is that day is normally 62% of the time it's cloudy. But if you guys remember this past weekend on April 8th, a year out, it was a beautiful sunny day. So I'm hoping for the same thing a year from now. Let me get back to where I was. So, the glasses that are available, so we can custom brand them, prevent blindness. It will, obviously generates revenue back to Prevent Blindness's mission. The glasses themselves have the 114, almost 115-year name of Prevent Blindness. So they're endorsed by Prevent Blindness. They have their logo on them, so folks can see these, wear these glasses and know that they're safe. They're 100% manufactured in the United States. They have full ISO certification for direct observation of the sun. The manufacturer that makes these glasses is endorsed by NASA, and they can be co-branded or they can be just Prevent Blindness branded glasses. So here's an example of what the glasses look like. And you have, the Prevent Blindness information on one side and at the nose. And then of course the other side could be a brand. It could be a company in your town. It could be your city. It could be anything you like. And of course the back has the small print, which we showing the certification, things like that. And then here's an example of just the Prevent Blindness glasses. So if you said, you know what, love the idea, would love to get some Prevent Blindness glasses, these are already made, these are already being sold, and it's Prevent Blindness branded both sides. Same, of course, same qualities and things like that. So here's an idea of purchasing prices if you guys are curious. So it's direct, you can direct purchase the glasses, and again, finding the funding is important, of course. Prices based on quantities ordered. So the orders, the interesting thing is the orders can be combined. So if we say, we want to Prevent Blindness branded glasses, and there's a bunch of communities that they're not going to brand it custom, you can combine them all into one order. So we can get to the point where we have a big quantity and have the price go down. The glasses are bulk, so they're not packaged, they're not folded. They come and they're kind of opened up like the kind of like the image is showing, just like that. They come in bulk, and they can be custom branded on the fronts. And then 50 cents for every pair sold is donated to Prevent Blindness, the Ohio affiliate. But the asterisk here is we can take that donation and split it. And so if you're trying to raise money for your city or your village or some other entity within your community, that can be done. Amy, you want to take this last page?
Yep, so what you're looking at now is a screenshot of Prevent Blindness's web page dedicated to the solar eclipse. So on that web page, you'll be able to find information about the eclipse. Of course, there's links to order glasses, but you can also order them just by going straight through Alan and Solnamo. But there's also, we're going to be updating this with activities that people can do for the event, and there's just a lot of education about the solar eclipse that's going to be on that website. Prevent Blindness will be doing a very aggressive marketing campaign. It's already begun this month, and we do expect to see some significant traffic on the site. And actually, this past weekend, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was quite a bit of press done around it being 1 year, just 1 year before the solar eclipse. And because of all that press, we had a significant jump in our visits to that web page over this past weekend. So that just really, that along with some of the other jumps that we saw in 2017 to our website, it really demonstrates the great interest that there is going to be for this solar eclipse. People will kind of wait till that day to be, all excited about it, but we are trying to make plans and get everybody ready prior to.
Yep. Thank you, Amy. So that's the presentation. We'd be happy to take any questions, or I don't know if you have to unmute, if you need to unmute the folks, Matt, whatever you'd like to do. Happy to answer any questions if we can.
Yeah, thank you. What they usually do in the box, there's a chat box, and you can type in questions, and Devin will go through those. But I have one to start us off. Alan, I'm pretty terrible at math. So if a community buys 25,000 glasses, does that mean at a quarter a piece as the payback, the community or the Main program could earn $6,250?
Yep.
Nice.
Do that. I'm going to get my calculator here.
Yeah, I just did the math.
It's
25,000 times 25 cents. Yeah.
Yep, it's simple. It's simple math, and that's why we did this. When we started putting together the thought of trying to raise money, one of the ideas is a percent of sales and things like that. But it's really difficult to measure, and it's real easy to get behind. My goodness gracious, if we could sell this many, it's easy math versus what was the price paid, because the price changes by the quantity. So yeah, it's that simple, Matt.
Nice. All right. All right,
Ellen,
friends across Ohio.
We got a couple questions here, Matt. Ellen, our first question is from Elton, and he'd like to know, what is the minimum order quantity?
Yeah, so the minimum order is 1,000 pairs of glasses. But as I'd mentioned, that if we start pulling together, if we, as and maybe through you, Matt, through the Heritage, if you start pulling together an order, and you may have a community that needs only 500, let's say, but another community needs 500, another one needs 1,500, et cetera, et cetera. If it's all going to be branded the same way, then we can ratchet right down the list here. So if you, in theory, let's say through small townships and communities that they only need, say, 500 each, but combined they're at 25,000, the price would be the $1.34. As long as it's the Prevent Blind, one brand. I mean, I'm assuming if there's a employer or a city township a logo, what have you, it's going to only be for them, and it's going to be custom, and they may not need that many, but there's going to be a lot of people. And if you guys do remember in 2017, I remember you couldn't get these, you couldn't find them, the glasses, and people were going all over the place and paying $20 a pair through eBay, and it was really, and they didn't even know what they were getting quality wise. But that's, so as you see on the chart here, if it is going to be only 1,000 pairs, so it would be the 238. But I think the opportunity here, unless you guys think there's going to be a lot of customization, is pulling it together in one big order and getting down to that lower price.
Thanks, Ellen. A couple of people have been asking about the presentation. The presentation is attached in the handouts section of GoToWebinar. So if you look on your GoToWebinar panel, you'll see a section that says handouts 1 of 5. You can click the link there and download the presentation from there. Also, a recording of this webinar will be sent to you, I believe, tomorrow afternoon, and we typically put these up on our YouTube channel as well. Next question from Betsy. What is the deadline for purchasing?
Good question. So depending on, again, if it's custom order or if it's a bulk order with the Prevent Blindness, for example, it's taking about 2 months for these to get produced. And the reason they are is because there's a lot of demand. So my manufacturer, just 2 weeks ago, he did 2 million pair for NASA. And so, when we have an order, especially if it's custom, it gets in line with everything else. Now, he tries to knock out the smaller orders quickly, so it may not be that long. So I would say, if you're looking at the total eclipse, which is obviously why we're here, you're going to want to get it done before, yeah, it's what's going to happen here is there's going to be a lot of activity in the summer for the October eclipse, but not as much in Ohio. Even though you're still going to need glasses to see that, because it's going to cover about half the sun. But when you get closer to the April, there's going to be so much demand that it's going to drag out that lead time. So it may be 3 months. So I would suggest if you're interested in getting something, I would plan ahead, get it early, and set it on a shelf and put it and keep it in the back room until you need it. So maybe towards the end of this summer, early fall, you're going to want to get that order in. If it's the Prevent Blindness branded ones, I think what we're going to do is probably have an inventory of them, and so we may have more flexibility and be able to turn an order around because the product will already be produced. So I guess again, it depends if you're looking at a custom order or a Prevent Blindness specific order.
And Bev has a question here about the glasses. How does this company's glasses pricing compare with other mass manufacturers?
Yeah, so this, if you go online and try to search Eclipse glasses, you're going to see prices lower for sure. And the reason they're lower because they're not custom made when it comes to Prevent Blindness. These are custom made glasses front and back, but also a portion of the sales going to the charity. So we have the prices are more expensive because there is built-in charity donation. And I think you're going to find, especially on Amazon and other places, you may be getting product that's not made in the USA. And also the product, I've seen some of the glasses, I remember them in 2017. I see some of the glasses my manufacturer likes, he makes himself because he's in the business to do this as well. Thinner, it's just not as good quality, in my opinion. But that's, if you're looking price, if you're looking for the cheapest price, it's not going to be the cheapest priced.
Thanks, Ellen. Betsy would like to know, should people order through the website or should they contact you via email to order?
Well, you can contact me through email. If you go through the website, it's going to come to me anyway. So you have my contact information. You can work directly with me, and I can work directly with you. And I may have some questions, but it's pretty straightforward once I know what you're looking for. So either way.
Thanks, Ellen.
And if I could chime in just to circle back to that last question, being the representative from Prevent Blindness, if you were to buy glasses that aren't the Prevent Blindness glasses, they're just cheaper ones you find, you really want to make sure that they are ISO certified or at least made by a NASA endorsed manufacturer, so that you can be sure that what you're using are actually safe enough for viewing an eclipse, just to protect your eyes.
That's a great point, Amy. And one other thing I wanted to add on the Prevent Blindness website, that people are buying, let's say they want to buy 3 pair for their family, or one for themselves. That's Prevent Blindness. There is a store at the Prevent Blindness website where people could buy direct, and they're buying it at retail just like they would if they're buying it through Amazon, eBay, etc. This is purchasing directly from the wholesaler. It's more for bigger orders. But if you have, let's say you're interested in this and maybe the community's not going to do something and you're like, what can I do for my family? Because I'm going to want glasses and I like what I hear, then the Prevent Blindness website has the glasses for sale in 4-packs and single packs. They're folded, they're packaged, they're not like bulk, but they're available for direct consumer purchasing.
Thanks, Ellen. Jenny has a question about the glasses themselves. Typically, other than eclipses, what are people purchasing these glasses for?
For these glasses, yeah, just for eclipses. I mean, the manufacturer also makes 3D glasses and things like that for other uses. But these, the lenses on these, the film on these are, meant to look at an eclipse. You could use them, I guess, to weld if you want, but they're probably better off with welding goggles. But yeah, that's pretty much what it's for. And if you think about this, this is an event, the amazing part that happened only 7 years ago, which is very rare. They have 2 back-to-back. The next one being 2045. It's definitely an event. It's even when you look at the price, you're like, okay, wow, it's cardboard, $1.26 or what have you. It's a one-time thing, right? You're going to do it, and you're going to remember it. And the glasses, you know, you toss them, I guess, or keep them, save them for the next one because they don't go bad.
I still have my glasses from 2017, so already
Yeah,
prepared.
it's true. In fact, if you think about it, if you're thinking about doing something big for your community, for the 2024, and you want to get them early, and you're going to get them early, and since you're the so let's say you're the coordinator of it, getting them early before the October, you actually have glasses available for that eclipse, and you can then save them till the next one in April. But I think for you all, where you're going to possibly do something in your communities, you're going to just want to gear up and be ready for that event. And I would not be surprised if you see, I mean, I see it all over the place. People that are renting out their yards, and a lot of stuff being done across the country on this path of totality in preparation for this event.
Clarifying Jenny's question, I misunderstood her. No, I did think that was also a good question. She's asking, typically, what are people charging? Do you know, for any of the resale? So they're, purchasing 1,000 glasses. Do you have any information about how much people are going to be charging? $3 a pair, $5 a pair on average?
Yeah. So on the individual pairs, what we're recommending is $3.99 as kind of like the manufactured select suggested retail price, if you will, MSRP, and that's kind of the price that folks are looking at doing it. I've seen it higher, I've seen it lower. Like I said, with our product, the recommendation is $3.99. On the Prevent Blindness website, we have a 4-pack. We have a retailer that's going to be selling a 4-pack that's in Ohio. You'll see it. I can't release their name, but they're going to be selling for $14.99 a 4-pack. So it's somewhere around there, $3 or so, $3-4.
And we have 2 questions here about the glasses and their packaging. First question is the date of the eclipse printed on the glasses?
It's not.
And the second question is, go ahead.
I was going to add to that though. However, again, the front of the glasses, the one side we want to protect for prevent blindness, but the other side is for whatever you want. So if we have let's say you have a large employer in your community that says, look, I'll buy 10,000 pairs and donate them to our citizens, but I want my logo on it, and I'm going to say, have our logo and say the Great American Eclipse of 2024, and they can put anything they want on it. But as far as the product that we've developed that's ready to be sold, what's being sold now, it doesn't have the date on it. So I just want to add that.
And the second question is there an option to wrap the glasses in plastic?
And yes, there is. So different packaging options. We have a single pair folded, wrapped that's in plastic, in a plastic poly bag. That's not this pricing here. It'd be a different pricing. So if someone's interested in that, I can price that out separately because it is an additional cost. And then the one I was talking about, the 4-packs, where it's got 4 pairs of glasses. It's got an informational card that Prevent Blindness developed that talks about talks about the eclipse safety. And it's a nice card of information. It's got the QR code that takes you right to the website that Amy showed earlier, where the website not only does it have an opportunity for people to buy direct if they want, but it has a ton of information of the eclipse and how to view it safely. So that's available too. A 4-pack is available. Those are the 2 kind of packaging options that we do.
Thanks, Ellen. Kim, finally getting around to your question here. This question is about the split of the donation. Does the split donation need to be specified to an eye-related organization due to the Prevent Blindness purchase site?
No, it could be any, if you say we want to raise money for the community, for the city, for anyone, it could be a church. If you're trying to raise money, it could be anything you want it to be. Obviously, half it will go to Prevent Blindness, that vision side's covered. If you have someone in the vision space and you want their other half to go to, that's fine. But it really could be anyone you'd want it to go to, including the community or the city. our village.
Thank you, Owen. Any other questions? Now is the time to type those in. We'd like to thank everyone for attending today, and we'd like to thank both Ellen and Amy for contacting us a few weeks ago about this great topic. I think this is really great, important event coming up for everyone. Very exciting for Ohio, and we're very happy to be working with them promoting this. Matt, any final comments from you?
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us, and Ellen and Amy, thank you so much. This will be huge for tourism in Ohio and should really benefit a lot of our Main Street communities. We appreciate you signing on today. If you would, please consider following Heritage Ohio on Facebook and LinkedIn so that you're aware of our upcoming events, trainings, and webinars. And please also consider becoming a supporter of Heritage Ohio by visiting heritageohio.org. As Devin said, you'll receive a copy of the presentation in your email tomorrow, and then this will be on our YouTube channel, and you can share it with your elected officials in the municipality and people in your program and others communities. Ellen, Amy, thank you so very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.